Bless the Lord. September 13th, 2017. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. That is the theme of our day, every day. We want to be grateful for what God has given us. We want to be excited about every new day. And today is not a sunny day. However, I'm still blessed to be in the land of the living. It is a rainy morning, Wednesday morning. If you consider it to be hump day, then your week is halfway completed, and just another half to go before you can get to your weekend, etc. But today we are going to continue with our discussion, early morning encouragement, right into work, talking about our children. Bless the Lord. They are such a beautiful thing. They are to be loved to to the utmost degree. They are our offspring. Okay, so stewardship, accountability, responsibility. These are great things to begin to teach your child early. Stewardship, responsibility, accountability. There's nothing wrong with starting now to teach that, because these are things that are going to sort of be expected if you've learned the lesson early, as they get older and start to be teenagers and young adults. Being not just responsible over their things, but accountable for the actions that they choose to make, the words that they choose to say. It's very huge. These are lessons that you can tell as adults if others have learned or not. So this is, again, you want to raise your children well. You want to give them the tools they need to be successful as they become adults. So it is never too early to begin. It's never too early to begin. Bless the Lord. It is up to you. It is a great task. I know, as a parent, especially if you have more than one child. One alone is difficult, but if you have multiple children, you have to deal with each individual character or identity, and you have to still give that same information in a way that they're going to be able to respond with based upon their individual character. So it may require more repetition for one child than the other. It may require just a couple lessons for one child and a million lessons for the other. But being consistent from your perspective as a parent to the child, they're going to pick up on that, because your children, our children, they are sponges, and they are watching everything that you're doing. They are watching everything that you're saying. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. And remember, we don't want our children to take cues from. We don't want them to take cues from social media. We don't want them to take cues from Facebook and YouTube. We want to provide sound education and discipline to our children from within our own home. That way we know that it's coming from a healthy place. It's coming from a place where there's love and that the best interest is at heart. So accountability for your actions, for their actions, teaching them that early is huge. Teaching them to be responsible for the things that they have under their care, the gifts that you purchase for them, the room that they may have or share with another sibling, the clothes that they wear. Just really taking care of those things and treating them well and being appreciative. Just overall being a good steward over everything that they have. It's never too late to teach your children how to be appreciative, how to maintain and take care of those things. Because when they do that, when they take care of what you've given them, you have your attitude towards giving them maybe something else that they desire is at a high level, because you see that, they get it. They understand what it means to take care of what they have. So I don't mind doing this or that for them. And not just taking care of the material things, but also the other things that are just important. Education, they're doing what they're supposed to do with regards to homework, and they're being the best student that they can be. When they have all those things in order and they're really heeding to your wisdom as their parent, there's nothing more that you won't do for them. You know, if they have a request, you're more than happy to accommodate if you are able. And even in that is a lesson for them to see that, you know what, when you do what you're supposed to do, that there's a reward attached to it. And sometimes the reward is just a simply good job, well done. Sometimes the reward is, here you are. You've been wanting this. I know you've had your eye on this for a while. I wanted to bless you with this. So there's an immeasurable number of opportunities that we can educate our children to be great young men and women of God, great responsible adults, citizens of the society that they find themselves a part of. So if you're struggling in that area, I want to encourage you to seek the Lord again, submit it in prayer, and ask the Lord to show you how to reach your child, because, you know, the way that I may reach mine might not be the best way to reach yours. However, the information is the same. So just navigating that is something that you must recognize as the parent, and you know that best because you know your child the best. So I want to encourage you to teach your children to be responsible, to be accountable, and to be overall great stewards over what they have. Because everything that we have is a blessing. And you want to transfer that mentality to your children, because why? Every child doesn't have a cell phone. If your child does have one, that's a blessing. Every child doesn't have a tablet. Every child doesn't have a laptop. Every child doesn't have more than one pair of shoes to wear. Every child doesn't have a wardrobe to toil over. What I'm going to wear today, or I like this, or I wore it yesterday, or 2 days ago, etc. Every child doesn't have that. Every child doesn't have a roof over their head. Every child doesn't have a loving family that is able to encourage and lift them up and motivate them to do better. So all of those things that I just mentioned are blessings. They are blessings. And you want to encourage your children to recognize that, you know, what I have is a blessing. I thank the Lord for this. And because I recognize that this is a blessing from the Lord, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to treat it well. I'm going to put my things away, you know, just basic things. I'm going to keep my room clean. I'm going to put my dirty clothes in the laundry. I'm going to pick up my dirty socks. You know, I'm going to make my bed. Just really simple things, because all of those things are a blessing to have. Amen. We want to teach our children not to take anything that we have for granted, because it is not a promise that we have what we have. So to God be the glory. Accountability, responsibility, stewardship. It's never too early to begin. And if you haven't begun, it's never too early to start. Bless the Lord. So we want to continue to teach those things to our children, because you as the adult, you know it's going to pay off later in life. So again, our 3 points today were teaching accountability, stewardship, and responsibility. Never too early to begin. And find the way that it's going to make those 3 things click for your child in the best way. Amen. Because we need our children. You know, they're going to continue on in life, and hopefully advance the kingdom as we are doing as adults. We want our children to continue to, because people need to see the love of Christ going forward. They need to hear the word of the Lord. So we want to just encourage our children to be the best that they can be, and to recognize that God has put greatness on each and every one of them. Amen. We want our children to grow up encouraged. We want our children to grow up knowing that they can do all things through Christ who strengthens them. And it is your responsibility as the parent to give them that encouragement. You know, it really is on us to encourage our children to be the best that they can be. Because why? We send them out to the world, or we send them out to friends, or whenever we send them away from us, you know, they're dealing with a lot. A lot of other influences are coming their way, because the enemy wants to steal our children. The enemy wants to steal our children. He wants our children to feel defeated. He wants our children to be sad, angry, frustrated, confused, depressed, suicidal, all of those things. He wants that, because he knows that as we are raising our children to fear the Lord and to be young soldiers for Christ, that is just more ammo to defeat the works and plans that he has. So again, Encourage your children, encourage them to be responsible for what they have, encourage them to be accountable for the actions that they make, and encourage them just to be overall good stewards over their life. Be good stewards over just how they respond to things, and encourage them to see the good. Encourage them to see the good in situations and not the bad. The same things, struggles that you go through as an adult, many of those things on a smaller level are similar for our children, and they become magnified as we get older. So, you know, if you recognize things that you struggle with and you don't want to see your child struggling with it, then absolutely encourage your children now to be overcomers. Encourage your children now to recognize things that come to distract them from the purpose that God has put on their life. It really is up to you. It is up to you to be that solid voice in their life, that consistent voice of encouragement. Amen. Now, once they leave your home, hey, it is going to be their decision to carry on with the wisdom that you have imparted to them. But while they are under your care, same thing. We have to be good stewards and responsible and accountable for the actions and decisions we make for our children. So if we're showing them that, then that's going to catch on, and something's going to click in their mind eventually. And even if you don't see that as of yet, I want to encourage you to stay the course, because even in staying the course, your children are watching that. They are seeing that, and you are teaching them to have endurance for things that may be difficult. You're teaching them to have endurance for things that may not go their way. You're teaching them to have endurance for things that may go a different way than they planned. To God be the glory. We're teaching our children in so many ways that we may not recognize if we don't say, okay, well, this is a lesson I'm trying to teach you. The lessons are always coming. They are always coming, whether we know it or not. So even us being attentive to how we respond to situations, our children are listening to that. I'm very cognizant of that when I'm having discussions with my wife for some things that, it's serious things and we need to make some serious decisions. I know that my children are listening. So even if some of those things may make me frustrated, I still have to respond in a manner that is going to be healthy for let's say just for my sons. How I respond to my wife. I'm teaching my boys now how to talk to women. I'm teaching my boys how to respond to their wife. I'm teaching my boys how to respond to things that they may not agree with. I'm teaching them how to respond to things that may make them frustrated or angry. And there is a way to respond that can still be productive. The Bible tells us to be angry and sin not. I can be angry about something and not be destructive in that communication. Okay, I can still be angry and still express how I feel without tearing the other person down in the process. So if I know that, and I know that, my children are around and they're in an earshot, and if you're in the same home, they are in an earshot of your voice, be attentive to that. Because what you show them, that's what they're learning. Amen. So to God be the glory. We are teaching our children to be accountable, to be responsible, to be respectful. Amen. To be overall good stewards over what is under their care. And right now they just have a few things under their care. Keep your room clean, wash dishes, do your chores. Just consistency in that will teach so many lessons to them as they get older. And as they're learning them lessons, you'll start to see the fruit of that. They'll start to catch on, and they'll start to do the things that they're supposed to do more on their own. And you'll be able to pull back and see those lessons take root and come into action. You'll see the fruition of your work, of your labor, your years in pouring into them in terms of your words and actions. To God be the glory. September 13th, 2017, To Our Children Part 2, encouraging them to be responsible, accountable, and great stewards. To God be the glory.